Yeah, FTX, the world's second largest crypto exchange, just went bankrupt over the past 2 weeks. It's crazy because it was recently evaluated to be worth over $32 billion or something. What happened? Well, Sam Bankman Fried hasn't been the, let's say, the most advanced or the most intelligent leader when it comes to running a crypto investment firm. Let's try and understand briefly what happened. This all started a few weeks ago when a report from Coindesk came out stating that Alameda, which is a trading specialized company of FTX, and turned out almost all the liquidity that thing had were FTT tokens, which were basically the native tokens of FTX platform. Not only that, in terms of liabilities, they had over 7.8 something billion dollars in loans. So essentially FTX was using their people's money, customers' money, to send it off to Alameda and then use it for trading. And they didn't have any valid equity to give, so they gave FTT tokens, and they even took loans by keeping their own FTT tokens as collateral. Meaning that if anything were to happen to a company, then the FTT tokens value would drop, and since Alameda's most equity is just these FTT tokens, then the entire company could just sink. Like, other than FTT tokens, there was no healthy diversification to minimize risk. So if they had to, say, provide liquidity by selling most of their equity in terms of FTT tokens, guess what happens to the price? It goes down. So when that report hit, some big company investors, including Binance's CEO, decided to liquidate all of their FTT holdings. And that's how it all started. Like, CZ was the one who pushed it over the edge. And because of this huge liquidation where he sold most of his FTT tokens, or actually all of his FTT holdings, because all of a sudden there were way too many tokens in circulation, that obviously brings the price down. People started panicking, and suddenly by Sunday, they had over $5 billion in withdrawal requests, meaning that up to $5 billion were requested by people around the world, asking them to give their money back. And again, this is not a problem that only a crypto firm would face. Even if you go to your bank right now, any bank, established bank from 200 years, whatever, if all of their customers went there and demanded their money back, they can't pay because most banks don't have that much liquidity available. I'm not saying the banks don't have it or it's a scam or something, but it's usually locked in somewhere else because the banks also invest in other companies. That's usually good for the consumers, but if they suddenly go and ask for withdrawals, then they can't really provide it. But at least banks have an option to bail out with the Federal Reserve or any other central bank that helps them out in case they don't have liquidity to provide. The banks do get a penalty for that, for running into that situation in the first place, but at least the consumers are protected. But this being crypto, there is no such regulation, and the Federal Reserve or any centralized bank can't do anything. So when Sam Bankman-Fried's company FTX was, out of money, they couldn't really provide all the withdrawals. They locked the withdrawal feature and started asking investors to loan them about $8 billion. Binance offered to help them out. I mean, it's funny. They were the ones who started this and they are offering to help as a guardian angel. But CZ didn't do that either. One look at FTX and he said, the issues are way too big for us to handle, and he backed out. Other notable firms like Sequoia Capital, they initially had pledged about $210 million in backing for FTX. They reduced it to zero. Basically said, we don't want anything to do with you, fix your shit. So Mr. SBF had no other choice except, openly say that he has done a shitty job handling this thing. Well, actually, even Binance wouldn't have been able to save this because the team was really ill prepared to handle such a situation. I mean, why wouldn't they keep liquidity in other assets other than FTT tokens? I mean, there's a lot more to this story, but bottom line is that a lot of investors wanted their money back because of this report, and they couldn't provide it. And since they didn't have any actual assets invested in the company and most of it was governed by their own token, and remember, this is not like purchasing equity. Like, if you purchase equity in a company, you get some level of ownership, right? You get some kind of a percentage commission of profits or something. Whereas this is not even that. Like, this just gives you some benefits, like, oh, you'll get a discount when purchasing FTT tokens. And man, I just think about all those crypto influencers who heavily marketed and even put their own money in this exchange. Like, I never understood why anyone would store money in an exchange. It's literally in the name, exchange. It is only meant to convert one token to another. Why would you save all of your money in the native wallet? If you ever hear this from anyone, please don't follow that. Always keep your crypto assets in a separate wallet, disconnected from any exchanges. Don't save it in an exchange because they may lock withdrawals at any time. What will you do then? And if you're really paranoid, you can keep it in a hardware wallet. I don't think that's necessary for the average consumer, but At least keep it in a software wallet like MetaMask. Don't save it in an exchange like these crypto gurus are telling you. I mean, there were people with like 400k, 500k just saved in their exchanges. Why would you keep all your crypto assets worth $500,000 in a freaking exchange? Oh god, I hope he got something out of it at least. Anyways, that was the shit show about FTX bankruptcy. So lessons learned: don't blindly trust a person who claims to be owner of $1 billion company but is totally mismanaging client funds. And again, because of the decentralized nature, you will never realize that until it's too late. For example, we don't even know where the Binance exchange is actually located. That is why crypto is a volatile thing which is not for everyone, and that is exactly why I have stopped making videos on crypto, even though I personally follow it even today. Just because I'm ready to lose a few $100s in the short term for my curiosity doesn't mean everyone else is. So that's why I have stopped it. I'm not saying I have spread wrong information in the past. I haven't. I've only shared what I have personally done, and I haven't accepted any financial things from any companies. Trust me, I have been approached by a lot of shady companies. I won't even name them. Some of them offering nearly $1,000 for a video. I mean, that's a big thing for my channel. But I haven't accepted any of them because I'm not a shady crypto guru. And I don't think I'll ever be. So yeah, if you like that kind of honesty, consider subscribing if you haven't. Alright then, let me know what you think of this and leave any questions that you have in the comments.